So I don't know how many of you guys remember this, but back I think 2 or 3 months ago, Quackity was getting canceled for literally speaking Spanish. You know, the first language that he learned how to speak, you know, his native language, you know, him being a Mexican, he grew up speaking Spanish. And a lot of like the woke Twitter users, actually their brains started malfunctioning and working backwards because essentially they thought that Quackity was appropriating Spanish culture, even though literally A, it's his culture, so there's literally no way he could appropriate it. That's just not possible. And B, he wasn't even appropriating anything to begin with. He was literally speaking a language, and anybody, believe it or not, on, you know, the face of this earth has the ability to learn and speak any language they want. But the whole notion that Quackity was appropriating culture or somehow being racist towards Spanish people is so beyond comprehension that I actually feel so distanced from the human race after I hear something like that, you know? Like, I just, you know, it's hard for me to comprehend and wrap my head around the fact that somebody who I share species with is doing stuff like this. Is this, like, this type of insane and stupid? Like, I would understand it if perhaps you were coding a robot that was designed to teach kids how to not be racist, and it started malfunctioning and it had a bunch of glitches where it would, you know, call stuff like Quackity speaking Spanish racist. You know, I would understand that if it was like a robot who was bugging out, glitching out, maybe on like 1,000 ping, but that just simply wasn't the case. And, you know, ever since that, I feel like I've been pretty shaken up, you know? That was the one that really opened my eyes as to how insane cancel culture can really be. So that was that situation, and for those of you who already knew about that, I'm sorry for wasting your time, but a lot of you who probably didn't know about that are probably shocked right now. I know, it's pretty crazy. So why am I bringing this up? Okay, I'm bringing this up because it's a good way to start off the video, because today we're going to be talking about Quackity and how I think Quackity is really affected by current internet culture. So I had made a video 2 weeks ago where I pretty much talked about how I think Quackity has been changing his direction of content and overall appealing to a more wider audience by coming across as more PG and sort of cleansing his channel from a lot of that like scuffed edginess that was really present in 2016. And although the majority of that video was kind of speculation, you know, as to why Quackity has changed his content, and you know, I can't read his mind, I was just kind of thinking that because the internet has changed so drastically and people are way more sensitive than they used to be, that he was probably trying to cut back on a lot of that edgy humor and kind of the more offensive jokes that he used to dabble in. Now, although I had my theories about this, I pretty much saw a tweet today that kind of confirmed what I was saying. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen my videos in the past 2 days where I spoke about both KSI and Fundy being canceled roughly around the same time, and they were both quote-unquote canceled off the heels of some edgy jokes that they had made on a game of Jackbox where the literal point is to be kind of as offensive as possible for the sake of humor, but I digress. Anyway, both Fundy and KSI had been making these jokes on a game of Jackbox while Quackity was streaming the whole thing on Twitch. And essentially, I believe earlier today, I had seen this tweet on my timeline that was saying, oh yeah, man, our precious and our innocent little Quackity was now, I guess, affected or is being brainwashed by his friends, or he's, you know, he was really humiliated and really nervous when he was playing Jackbox with Fundy and KSI because of how edgy they are. And our sweet little precious Quackity should never have to deal with stuff like that, man. That's just insane. Alright, here, I found the thread. It says, I just feel bad for Quackity. Like, the dude has to deal with KSI and Fundy right now. Don't cancel me and Fundy. I see the tweets. They're hurting my feelings. They're jokes. Yeah, good night. I'm leaving this stream. It's so obvious neither of them care about how their audience feels. It's so disappointing. I feel so bad for Quackity. He looked so nervous sitting there on stream while KSI and Fundy made jokes that should never have been said. I really hope that they can make it up to their friends somehow, alongside all the terrible things they said. So, 2 things right off the bat, okay? I understand you feel terrible for Quackity. It's very obvious that you are just so sorry, and you're frankly down bad on Quackity's behalf. And look, dude, I understand being upset on a celebrity's behalf, like in certain scenarios, like, you know, Jacksepticeye's father recently died. You know, a lot of people, that probably is gonna really upset them. You know, even if they don't know Jacksepticeye personally, hearing that is upsetting news, and I understand that upsets you. But acting like you're sad on Quackity's behalf, because you assume that he was offended by jokes that his friends were telling to him, like, dude, what do you think you're doing? You're not a psychic, okay? You can't read this guy's mind. You're not telepathic. Why are you feeling bad for somebody who literally invited these dudes on to play with him, bro? I feel like Quackity's at that age, you know, like the age of being an adult, where he knows what he's doing, okay? If he was upset, you would probably know that he was upset. It would have been different if, like, a bunch of kids hijacked the game and started saying racist stuff and just ruined the stream altogether. But I assume that Fundy and KSI are two big friends of Quackity, if not they're just two friends of Quackity. It's not like Quackity has no idea what kind of jokes the two of them made while playing Jackbox, yet again a game that is meant to promote offensive humor to an extent. So there's literally no reason for you to feel bad on Quackity's behalf, okay? If you're gonna try to cancel KSI and Fundy, you may as well try to cancel Quackity as well, okay? I'm not saying you should. I am totally opposed to canceling any of the three of them. But acting like Quackity is some sort of, like, innocent, untouched holy bible, or perhaps that Quackity is some sort of golden child and these kids are two older kids that have a bad influence with him, you know? Maybe Quackity's like a very pure 9-year-old playing GTA 5 for the first time. That's just not the case here. Also, my favorite part of this thread is when people are trying to analyze his facial expressions, like, well, Quackity looked super duper nervous. That must be because of the jokes that KSI and Fundy were telling, you know? These jokes must have really upset Quackity and really made him uncomfortable. He was not at all upset by the jokes. You know, obviously, I just criticized them for trying to mind read, and I'm mind reading now, but let's be honest here. Quackity has a history of telling offensive jokes, right, in the past, and there's nothing wrong with that. But to suggest that he would be offended by the jokes that his friends made when he invited them on is absolutely crazy, and to suggest that he's uncomfortable because of the jokes that his friends made is just, I absolutely doubt it. Here's why I actually think that he was nervous, okay? My suspicion, and trust me, I'm gonna back this up. My suspicion is that Quackity probably felt the need to act uncomfortable because he knows that something like this would get to Twitter, and Twitter would try to cancel him. Quackity knows that people tried to cancel him for literally speaking Spanish, so him laughing along to jokes that are somewhat offensive probably would lead to Twitter saying that, oh, Quackity is offensive as well, we gotta cancel him again. Dude, he was probably sitting there, quote-unquote, uncomfortable, as you put it, probably because he knew that if Twitter is dumb enough to cancel him for speaking Spanish, they would go to town on him laughing along with offensive jokes, dude. Are you joking? I mean, dude, do you seriously not think that after KSI made his little African child joke that if Quackity was laughing along, you know, hollering along, telling, you know, KSI that was the funniest joke he's ever heard, you don't think Twitter would probably have said, TW racism, Quackity just laughed at a racist joke even though he isn't black? Like, dude, I'm pretty sure he saw that coming a mile away. You know, again, like, after previously being quote-unquote canceled by Twitter, I'm pretty sure Quackity knows that he has to walk on eggshells to appease the absolute brainlets on Twitter. But with that all being said, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you guys have enjoyed it, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Comment down ring light if you made it to the end of this video, and I will try to heart your comments. Follow me on my social medias and join the Discord server. Links all in the description below. Special thank you to my channel members. Your support helps me out to make the content that I want to make. But of course, with that all being said, I hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.